What's going on, everybody?
Why is it upside down?
I don't. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
I don't know,
hey.
man. Oh my gosh. That's great. I tried to do a normal intro and I saw Nate's freaking background, of course. But what's going on, everybody? Welcome in to the show. We're just gonna, a little day two recap reaction show of sorts. Jake Shavink here got some awesome guests. Zachary Smitty joining us. Late night for him. He's an hour ahead of us here, Nate and myself, and so he's sticking on late. That's really appreciate that, of course. Smitty, you've obviously been doing the same thing we've been doing for the last 5 hours as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
well, that's why I'm here,
long
because it wasn't with you guys. So I would be remiss if I didn't take the opportunity to talk to you guys about what has gone on over the first couple nights of the NFL draft. So I got off our stream and I was like, dude, I'm so tired. I'm about to go to bed. For whatever reason, I just decided to go on YouTube and saw that you guys were still live. So I just popped in, and then you said you were going live afterwards, and I was like, screw it. Like, the Pirates are on the West Coast, so they're still playing right now. So I got them on TV.
I love when that happens with MLB games, especially where it's like, it's like midnight. There can't be anything on to watch while I grind this. And then I'm like, oh, yeah, right. They're playing the Diamondbacks. Let's go.
Right. Exactly. But yeah, I mean, what a first 2 days. A lot of surprises. There's no other place to begin. There's just no other place to begin right here. Okay. This has to be the starting point. Yeah. This has to be the starting point of what we talk about right now. I mean, come on. Like, because Smitty, we haven't really talked about this at all. Like,
sure,
about round one. Really, we didn't really. I did send a message that I think we probably should bring up. I sent you and Derek that. I think we got to bring that up too if we're going to recap both days. But like, Falcons. I mean, what's going on? We got GM explaining to owner what's going on in the middle of the draft. Like, owner not in on the pick. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, right? Carolina. But like, crazy stuff. Anybody want to jump in to start with what the Falcons have been doing?
So I think it's very odd that people are trying to actually Joseph right here, Joseph Gleason, with the same comment that I was going to bring up, trying to draw the parallels to the Green Bay Packers situation. Jordan Love is the same age right now as Michael Penix is coming into the league as. So like, that's where the difference is. Like, Michael Penix, you're hoping becomes the starter at what, 27, 28 years old. And then you're like, okay, we don't know if we have to pick up this 5th-year option yet. Like, I don't know, especially for like the Falcons team in that division, which, no disrespect to Nate Saints here, very much winnable for any team that wants to win it within that. Like, nobody is that far away where within one offseason you can't get there to be able to win it. The Falcons, after going out and getting Kirk Cousins, how is this not pushing all your chips in on this offseason to try to go and win that division? And you're making a pick for the future at pick number 8, maybe a pick for the future. It's very odd process.
I don't know. It's very past, present, and future, that pick. I don't know which it is, because it's not JJ. You could have, if you told me we're picking, if I was the owner and you come in
last night.
Yeah. If you come in and you tell me, hey, we're picking McCarthy and we're doing this, I'd be like, okay, yeah, you got it. But no, we're gonna pick the guy who's like 3.5 years older. I don't understand. I don't, and maybe we'll all look foolish because Kirk can't play.
I doubt it.
Something voids, but yeah, I doubt it too. No.
The thing is, we can't all be wrong. I just don't. No, I don't believe we can all be wrong.
I don't know. It just would have made a lot more sense if it was McCarthy. And then we send this, and I sent this to you too. Go ahead, Smitty. I saw you.
Well, no, say Crash in here just said Falcons have an out in 2 years with Cousins. Penix started at age 26, just 1 year older than Love started out at. Like, I get all that. And I've been kind of one of the people pushing for quarterbacks to start sitting for at least a year coming into the league. Like, I think that we need to kind of go back to that. So like, that's not the part that I have a problem with. Again, like, the second half of my original statement about it is really where I take the most issue, where it's like, Atlanta, if you're paying Kirk Cousins, you're basically making the statement that we're ready to go. Everything else should be about being ready to go and not for the future at that point, in my opinion. Like, next year, if you want to maybe take a developmental quarterback to sit behind Kirk, or the year after that, like sure, for a year. But like this year, it should have been all about putting the best possible roster together for Kirk in his first year there.
Yeah, it's hard to marry what they're doing, what this offseason was, and then do that, because it felt like, again, I get it, they're trying to do the Green Bay thing. They're trying to be like, yeah, we're all in, but we're also not all in. How about that? Like, which line is it? And I don't know. I clearly the people who were also in on Penix were correct, by the way. Like, we're very correct about where he was going, right? This James Palmer tweet said it all last night. Like, the Seahawks, Saints, and Raiders all trying to get into the top 10 for Penix.
Yeah.
Man.
I buy it for sure.
Great day for Connor Rogers brand.
It's true. It's true. And for Couch Potato general manager guys who have Penix who have had Penix at QB3.
Really?
They've had him at QB3 the entire process. So kudos to them for sticking to that. And
I mean, I've had him at 4 above McCarthy, which I thought that was even like a bit of a, like a take that people would disagree with, obviously. But yeah, I mean, that's even a little bit more. So who would it be? What was the order there? Was it above May as well or Daniels?
Daniels. They had above Daniels.
Okay.
Which I can get behind that.
Yeah, that's, but it's crazy stuff. Crazy stuff there.
I think that the obvious solution here is for the Falcons to relocate to London, change the branding, and finally shed the 28-3 thing. I think this is what it stems from insecurity. It's all downhill.
Well, yeah, if they move there, I think by the end of his first contract, Penix will be old enough to be a Royal, right? And have control.
Well, he might be old enough to be president by the time he gets to play. What, 33? Something in there? That's only a couple years. I mean,
hey,
right?
Either way.
Good for him, though, getting that top 8 money. Like,
yeah.
And it's one of those things. Go ahead.
I love Penix, so like I think he's an easy dude to root for. That's why I'm not in love with the situation for him. I just have a hard time wrapping my head around it from the Falcons standpoint.
I'm happy for him. I just kind of wish we would get to see him earlier. When you get these guys that they've used their COVID. Well, true, Kirk Cousins might get injured, but these guys that are on the 5th year of school, whatever that looks like, or even just are a little older coming in. That's years off your contract. So good for him for getting the money. But, even if you say, which has been the defense that I've gotten the most, is Cousins' contract is 2 years and then it's ghost years. That's all well and good. That's 2 years from now. And you also used up a prime pick in a draft that had a lot of guys that could boost you instantly. If you want a backup quarterback, go sign a backup quarterback, in my opinion. But high upside for Penix. I can't even get that out of my head. Even a year later, multiple years later. But I'm excited for him. I know Minnesota Vikings fans are angry for multiple reasons. So
really,
for many reasons.
Well, if only someone knew that it was coming 11 months in advance, they could have warned him. That's all I'm saying. Who would that be?
There it is.
Smitty, I did actually play that at the end of the stream. I don't know if you got on time, but I played it at the end there.
I reposted the clip that you had on X.
Yeah, I saw you repost that. Yeah, it was like I early morning. I was like, oh, I forgot to do this last night. I said I was going to play it when he picked him, and I forgot.
How many correct did we have in round 1? How many correct player team fits and first rounders and stuff?
That's a great question, and I feel
I can find that out for you.
Oh, Nate's gonna go rip through that thing pretty quick there. Braden says hello. Popping in here, guys. Says can't believe that Tampa, Baker, and Franklin are all still available as we end day 2. Yeah, there's some names out there that I was kind of surprised, even beyond those few that were still there. Any thoughts on why we might have gotten to this point, especially with those 3? I feel like there was nothing on Franklin where it was like, oh, he's not going day 2, because there were so many mocks were like, yeah, maybe Buffalo at 28, or and it was.
So with Baker, I had a conversation with somebody shortly after we wrapped up. Actually, they might have texted me back since then and still be going on, but there were some questions about the level of competition to begin with, and then I think the Senior Bowl wasn't great. And overall, the tape was good, but the Senior Bowl itself wasn't good when he saw probably the best level of competition that he was going to see. I still really like him. I thought that he should have gone today 100%, but that is literally the only thing that I can think of. And with the other two, I don't have an answer. I mean, Troy Franklin was in my top 10 receivers. I was a little bit lower on TJ Tampa, but still a guy that I thought would certainly go tonight as well. But yeah, just wanted to add some context to the Javon Baker one, at least from a conversation I've had. I can't, obviously we're talking about 32 different teams. I don't know. Yeah. They all felt that way. But that was certainly some insight.
Yeah. The Franklin one is just wild. I don't get, like, from a film perspective, he was solid across the board. Analytically, like, all the metrics loved him on a per route basis. Like, there was a lot to like, and it's just, it was a no-go. I'm very surprised about.
I kept thinking Buffalo was going to be the one to do it, like even double dipping at receiver. I thought that they could do that. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, I can't say that the frame's scaring him away, right? I mean, I know 6'1", 176. He's a bit wiry, but I don't know.
165 went in the first round, which
right.
And I get it. He ran 4.21, but, like, I mean, Franklin's fast. So I'm blown away by that. Really, really blown away by that. Because there's nothing that's come out either. Have you seen anything? Because I feel like there's nobody, like, kind of like saying, oh, Franklin's dropping because of X or Franklin's dropping because of Y.
I don't know if you guys know my guy Nick Faribaugh that I do work with at Steelers now. But he was Franklin's his wide receiver 4. So, like, he's totally baffled by what's going on here with this slide. Yeah. I don't know. I like I said, I think I had him as wide receiver 9. So I definitely thought that he would be a guy that went on day 2, but here we are, past pick 100.
Well, you gotta. I checked some of the round 4 stuff before we hopped off the stream, and I mean, New England's got 2 picks in, like, the first 10. Might be worth it grabbing one.
That's
of those
a team
two
that's
guys.
Been poking around in the trade market for receivers linked to the San Francisco talks, and so yeah, I mean, that could certainly make sense.
Yeah.
Who did they add receiver wise though? Didn't they
added Polk? I think at whatever it was, 37, something like that.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I mean, we can go this direction. I know there's some Packers folks in here, of course. Thoughts on Tyron Hopper from Mizzou? Anybody want to throw it out there? I know I can drop some as well, of course, but any initial reactions to that? Obviously, it's a double dip for Green Bay at linebacker on day 2.
That was going to be my first thought was, you go Edger and Cooper and then still come back to him. I mean, I didn't have a ton on him. He was a popular late round guy that I was taking for the Steelers in some mocks, but they didn't show a ton of interest. I question. I'm curious to see what you think about the fit, just because, like, I think he'd struggle in, like, 2 gapping scheme. I think he can get washed away on blocks at times, get into the second level when guards can get up there and climb. I don't know. I don't know about the fit specifically for the Packers, but I wasn't necessarily somebody that loved the fit for us.
Yeah, I think Green Bay's got a really all-will linebacker group right now, to be honest. I think that's very much what happened. I know I kind of mentioned when they took Cooper, it was kind of like someone asked who's playing Mike linebacker with Quay, even Quay Walker and Edger and Cooper. And I'm kind of like, I think if they're in base downs, it might be Isaiah McDuffie, as crazy as that sounds. He might be just playing Mike, and you have, a Will Sam kind of flexible exchange between the other two. And, Edger and Cooper's a good blitzer. We've seen that, right? He can do that, and obviously can cover a ton of ground.
You do off the edge, too.
Yeah, and so, like, I think that's what people were hoping Walker could do, and there was a lot of talk about him doing that. Cooper's going to do that. He had, 27 pressures, 10 sacks, I think.
Yeah.
Which is just...
That's why I was so,
insane.
I kept talking about with him, I just kept feeling like Dan Quinn was going to try to get him in Washington and try to use him like Micah. Like, not that there is, another Micah out there, but I just thought he would try to use him. With Hopper, what's interesting, like, athletically, he's kind of, he looks like a modern day linebacker. Like, I don't know, maybe things will click at the NFL level more than I think that they're going to. I didn't see it as a round 3 guy.
Yeah, he actually ended up. I couldn't believe this. I had to double take. He ended up LB5 for me. I can't believe that.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, which I'm very surprised.
Well,
by,
all right.
Where he
You know
ends
what?
up.
I say that. Let me see where I had him. He was definitely in my top 10, but
Okay.
honestly
had forgotten about
it. Wasn't a good linebacker class. So like
No.
at first
Yeah.
saying that, and I was like, wait a minute. No, he was probably yeah, he was 8 for me.
Okay.
Guys,
Right ahead of
this
right
video.
ahead of Eddie Olafosio out of Washington.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
You know who was right there with?
Who's that?
Jeremiah Trotter Jr. Not a fan.
He was, I think, 8 or 9 for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was. I know there was a lot of people in on him. After the deep dive, it was kind of.
Did you rank James Williams as a safety or linebacker?
Linebacker.
Okay. Yeah.
Which
I mean, I have those guys kind of all in the same group. So I would say, at least for me, like Peyton Wilson, Edgerrin Cooper, Junior Colson, I really like Cedric Gray, Trevin Wallace, and then everybody else that's in that top 10 is kind of in that same bucket. So
yeah, I think I only had 4 day 2 grades, so it wasn't like, oh, this class is, so that's kind of maybe where you're kind of like, why are they taking 2 of them on day 2? I think Trayvon Wallace was going to be that guy if he was available for Green Bay in round 3, but he was not. Panthers took him early. Winner, same thing, doubling up. Watch draft.
I saw this
dumb and realistic it was. A team would do all that decision that Atlanta did it that evening. Well, there you go.
I mean,
so.
Yeah, totally realistic to trade 3 second-round picks for the 6th overall pick.
Yeah. What does Rich Hill
think?
That's
some 2019 Madden franchise mode draft logic right there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But I want my picks back, and I want David Putney because I feel like it. Great quote. I know Joseph saying Joseph Smitty. He wanted a triple Cooper, is what he called it. Edgerrin Cooper, Cooper to Gene, Cooper BB, all in Green Bay. Would have been kind of sick.
Yeah, well, I would have the Cooper that you got was not the one that I would have guessed. I would have thought Gene was a Packer.
I think the Gene was probably the most of the 3. I think BB a little bit less, just because of kind of how he plays. I think and maybe more fit for power than zone stuff. But he didn't look uncomfortable. But yeah, I think it would have been fun. Cooper day 3. I don't think there are any. I don't believe so. Maybe there's someone
first or last name, right?
Name. Yeah, I don't think so. Not that I know of.
Guys, finally something that I'm an expert on.
There you go.
Movies, bad movies.
How far down did you go?
Draft Day is a classic, I think is what you mean. It's absolute classic. It is one of the worst movies I've ever watched, but it is a classic.
Yeah, I'm not saying, it's good. I'm saying every year I watch it because,
right.
Why not, right?
It's tradition, but it's awful.
Yeah.
I still cannot believe the cast that they got for that movie.
Yeah.
It still bewilders me every time I see it.
Yeah, I know. That's
Chadwick Boseman is in it.
I know.
Rest in peace.
Yeah. Terry Crews. It's crazy.
Yep.
As Arian Foster's dad.
Yeah. Arian Foster.
Oh, you know who unfortunately is in that movie as well is Diddy.
Oh, that's right. He's Bo Callahan's agent.
Yeah. Forgot about that.
Yeah.
That's why Bo Callahan's stock fell.
Yeah.
Insider. They knew. They knew 10 years ago.
We got some 3rd-round curses back. I don't know about that. We got some not fans of but Lloyd though. Lloyd, we might be back though. We might be back. He's a little lighter. Bullard's a little light for box. See, the thing with Bullard is he could play nickel, and I think he can play both spots, man.
You guys did take Javon Bullard. It's fun.
Oh.
Somebody texted me. It was like,
hyped.
what are we about to do here? And I was like, wide receiver Javon Bullard. And then I looked up, and Javon Bullard was picked by the Packers that exact same time. So I was like, all right, scratch the Javon Bullard thing. We're going receiver.
I also find that when I mention guys, they get picked immediately. I called 2 really unfortunate ones tonight. When Seattle traded up, I knew it was for Haynes. Just knew it. Probably one of my favorite picks, though. And then when San Francisco traded to 86, I was like, oh yeah, they've taken receiver corner. I knew it immediately. It was Pooney. It was the dream was dead at 88. The guy who I picked, Smitty, I picked him like 90 times for the 3rd round for Green Bay.
Jeez.
I'm like, this is the guy in the 3rd round.
I know that this is primarily a Packers thing. When we were doing something, when was that I mentioned that? We were talking about our favorite play. You asked who our favorite players in the draft were. Javon Bullard is my favorite player in this draft class. I didn't say he was the best. He's my favorite player in this draft class. Packers got him.
There you go. There's a ringing endorsement right there. Drew's happy about today. I know some people not happy about some of the Packers picks, but Hopper could play Viper. Yeah, that's possible. Mark, aren't we all? Yep, 100%. Mark, if you want a really good reaction, that's not at all an overreaction. Just go watch what happened when I said that's what happened, and I had a terrible time. That was an all-time low for me, I think.
Was a good one.
Yeah. You're saying cornerbacks devalued as a whole because of extreme depth at the position, which, I mean, Kool-Aid went 41st to the Saints.
Yeah, it's hard to argue that, or against that, Just based on results, what happened?
When I mocked him, I think my final mock had him 28 or 29, somewhere around there, and I was like, this is lower than he should go, but this is the point that we're at. Like, I felt like he was being underrated just the entire time throughout the process because of his foot thing, but like we knew that was going to be good to go. So like,
yeah,
that's egregious. 41.
Probably display a lot of the comments. Hi Dana, what's going on, everybody else?
I'll take it.
Do we want to get into like just who crushed it today? Like who do you think?
Oh, I mean the Steelers, obviously.
Well,
but...
okay, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Got the best of all three. Dana thinks we got the best of all the 3 Coopers, by the way. Green Bay.
Ooh.
Which I had DeJean and Edger and Cooper as both early 2s in terms of grading. So
okay,
could be a tie there. But I graded Cooper DeJean as a nickel, so instead of a which he might play in Philly. Speaking of which,
I had him as CB5, but safety 1.
Okay. Yeah,
I like that.
Hard to argue with that.
I'm going through here and seeing who's. I mean, honestly, I know that we don't want to hear like another one of my favorite players. Not saying he's necessarily the best. Renardo Green, 49ers. I hated when I saw that they took him at 64.
Yeah,
I think Washington made some nice picks here.
Yeah, I was gonna bring them up. I think like here. I want to bring up Washington. I know I was on Green Bay's tab. I feel like they did everything right after last night. Everything. I don't think there's one thing here that I don't like. Maybe McCaffrey over Baker and Franklin would be like one where I'm like, oh, that's not. But like,
dude, I mean,
this is pretty good. They trade back. They trade with Philly to pick up 50 and 53. Like, I love that. Sainer still is a dog. He's going to be – Dan Quinn is going to love him.
They got a Johnny Newton that has a chip on his shoulder now.
That's dangerous work.
Yeah.
And 2 guys who can, help bring him along too, which is – man. I
like all these picks.
Coleman,
even McCaffrey to a lesser extent. I mean, again, there was other receivers on the board that, like, if this was Javon Baker, Troy Franklin, I think that this is even more of a conversation than what we're having right now. But
yeah.
Yeah, they cleaned up. That was who I was definitely.
Can somebody else in the comments please say Pittsburgh, so I don't feel crazy here and biased?
saying Pittsburgh had a good good day. Let's
Yeah.
pull up Pittsburgh. Let's do that. Let's pull up Pittsburgh. I mean, I think Fautanu is one of the best picks of the first. Tackle 2 in the class, 0 questions asked, and you got him at 20.
Oh, you got one here.
There you go.
Whoa, wait.
Who said
Time out.
that?
Did you say tackle 2 in the class?
Yes. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So he was my. I put this. I posted this today. Like I was doing best and worst value in my eyes. So where like guys were on my big board comparatively to where they got taken, and like not even being a homer, obviously, because this is literally like the rankings show themselves. So
Yeah.
Fautanu, Steelers, that was one of my top 3. The other 2 being Terry and Arnold and Quinyon Mitchell. Like the value of those 3 compared to where I had them was just insane.
Yeah.
Fautanu was my number 11 player, and they got him at 20. So I just, yeah.
So I think I'm
in love
looking
with the pick.
I'm looking at my scale, and I shouldn't have done this with the board this year. Instead of just made it vertical like a normal person. I think I had 11 grades that were either top 5 or mid round 1 grades, and Fautanu was one of them. Mitchell was also one. But yeah, Fautanu, tackle 2, man. No matter what. And see, look at this. All the Packers fans are letting you know. Like,
yeah, we're okay. It's coming in now.
I think.
I don't know if it was just me pandering or what, but
Did you have like Fashion at tackle 2, Latham, Mims?
I know it was Fashanu, but like
Fashanu, okay.
in my honestly with Mims, like if there was more of it, I think he could maybe have a case to be in the conversation. But there's just like the tape's so good, but it's such limited amount of tape that he has.
Yeah.
Fautanu, I just man, I was super impressed. The movement skills for somebody his size, the way he moves in space. I just think it's special. Like I don't even know. I would assume that they're going to line up from left to right: Broderick, Sayamalo, Frazier, Daniels, and then Fautanu, and that's completely fine with me. Like,
yeah,
I think he can just play anywhere.
Did they announce him as a tackle on the
They did.
broadcast?
Yeah, Tom was.
Did.
That was.
Okay.
I think it was the first or second question that they got asked during the press conference last night, and because they even obviously going into today they didn't have a center yet.
Yeah.
So
right.
like, and there's been some conversation. Did some teams see him as that, or the guard, obviously? But they were like, no, he's playing tackle. So whether it's the left or right side, I don't know. But they've also expressed wanting to get Broderick on the left. So
okay.
Yeah.
That's. I mean, yeah. When he was picked, I know there was a lot of people like, oh, that's it's a really good positionally flexible player, right? Play him inside, brother. He's so good out there. He's so darn good out there.
Yeah, like if this is even a conversation if his arms are like an inch longer, if he's an inch taller, like.
Yep. I feel like he's getting Slater treatment, and he's not even like, he doesn't even lack the length necessarily that Slater did. Yeah, and it just feels like that all over again, where it's just like, yeah, we talked a lot about moving and doing all this, and like, oh, is he tall? Is he this? It's like, I don't. He's just good. Like, we don't have to overthink it with him. We really don't have to overthink it. Like,
he also gets an extra a bonus point for being a Steelers fan.
Yeah,
that's a cool story.
Yeah, not saying it's a competition, but the number 1 overall pick is a Packers fan, or at least was. But yeah, I agree with this.
Yeah, and then their follow up was about the footwork as well. So yeah.
I mean, it's just like if you're good with timing and good with placement, you can make it work out there, right? Joseph and I are on the same page as well. OT2, baby, all day.
Wow.
And yeah, Mike Wall, former Packer, he has a lot of stuff on YouTube, Smitty. He gushes about Fautanu all the time. He's like, just the guy, just when he strikes, he's in such good positioning. And it's
dude, he gets like 4 punches right off the snap. Like it's insane.
It's the urgency he does that with as well. It's gonna be great. Like, he is, seeing him in those colors is gonna be a lot of fun. Would I like to see him in green with that gold? Yeah, absolutely. I knew that was pretty much a pipe dream, although he got down to 20.
I mean, it got
so
close. Yeah,
it got a little interesting there, but like I would have called
Would they have
anybody.
taken him?
I don't know how you couldn't take him. I know he's like usually they go because he's like 6'3" and 3/4 or something, right? Or is he just over 6'4"? There was something where one of the guys I talked to goes, he might not be tall enough for what Green Bay likes at tackle. I'm sitting there, I'm kind of like, I don't care. He's just really good. Like some of the tall guys aren't going to be good, man.
We were sitting there, and I was worried about like, are they still going to go Barton despite this unexpected slide for Fautanu? And obviously, but like you had the corners on the board too. Like the board felt great for the Steelers at 20.
Yeah.
And I was happy. I thought they could have hit 3 home runs or taken. You know, I like Barton, but I would have been a little bit underwhelmed just because of the positional value if they went that route as opposed to Fautanu or one of the corners. So I'm glad they went the route that they did, especially to end up getting Frazier at 51 to follow that up with.
Oh yeah. This is a great question from Adam.
Yeah, I didn't get your thought. I didn't get your thoughts. I'm sure you've talked about.
Yeah, I think it's fine. I don't know, man. I did not enjoy watching him play against Washington in 2022. That's the game last night where I'm like, this is Braylon Trice is just finding a way to consistently get this guy out of position on the ground. Was not great. A lot of the tackles have hand placement issues. Like it's always going to be a thing. That's why Fautanu's a stud. It's fine. There's no difference between 20 and 25. What do you mean? No, but he is. It's going to take some work. And then, like if they wanted to play tackle, fine. But you haven't drafted anybody else, and you have a big hole at right guard at the moment. So I don't know. It is, but like, I don't know, man. There's just he doesn't have a lower body strength either. The power isn't there. But anyway, not to be a Debbie Downer, but like, yeah.
Is that who in our mock you traded up for Washington?
Who
after the trade?
Jordan Morgan. Yeah.
Okay.
So we got him in round 1 in that mock. So we
correct. Yeah.
So it took a lot of maneuvering around. Braden says Zach Frazier pile drive DTs into oblivion. Another guy who plays with great positioning at contact. Just
yeah. You know, it's
really
there was a game like people were picking apart his game against Texas, which wasn't great. Obviously, like those DTs definitely beat him up a bit in that game. But like people were saying, oh, he is such a bad anchor. He's going to struggle with speed to power. These guys, you know, like the base that he gets, like, and it was like one game. Like I'm like, you don't see this consistently pop up for him though.
Yeah.
But I get he had a rough, 4 quarters against Texas, but. Yeah, I don't know. I the one thing that I question comparatively to Graham Barton and to Jackson Powers Johnson was the athleticism to play in Arthur Smith's system. I think he's a decent athlete, but like Arthur Smith typically has like these hyper athletes at the position. So I'm curious to see how that goes. But I think like at that value, at 51, they weren't going to do better than that. Although Van Pran didn't get drafted yet, huh?
No.
Yeah.
No, he did not. Limmer from Arkansas is still there.
Norzad, Bordellini.
Norzad and Bordellini for sure. I mean, I think that O-line, it seems like, I mean, Van Pran definitely is polarizing a little bit more. I think there are some people who didn't like it at all, right? Especially when you're looking for more athletic centers. But when you hear him talk about Georgia's offense, football IQ is off the charts with Van Pram. So, but yeah, Peyton Wilson, Roman Wilson, you have 3 Wilsons on the team now. Goodness.
Yeah. Yeah. I said, I had a tweet that was like Pickett to Pickens with an X, Wilson to Wilson with a check mark. Yeah,
Wilson to Wilson,
and
broken
then,
up by Wilson.
yeah, and then they drafted
Essentially.
Peyton Wilson after that.
Man.
Peyton Wilson, dude, I love that pick so much. I know that he doesn't have an ACL. Ian Rappaport was talking about that in one of his knees. Like they literally couldn't do anything with it after he tore it. So many injuries, Jake. We've talked about it, but like at that point, I'm taking him. Like I'm willing to take the risk at pick 98.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
he's still, but like we still watched him run a 40. We've still seen that athleticism pop. For what they're going to ask him to do, I think, like we know that he can't necessarily, go up there and shed blocks and do a bunch of that type of thing. But like QB spy, the sideline to sideline stuff, carrying tight ends up seams. I think that they're going to have a very defined role for him that he's still going to be a contributor. Like people were questioning, what this means for Cole Holcomb because they've been pretty quiet about his return from injury. And obviously they go out and get Patrick Queen, still have a Landon Roberts, and then you spend a day 2 pick on a linebacker. I don't know. I just think that this is kind of a similar case for me going back to last year with Darnell Washington, where like it's a guy with medicals falling and they're just like, okay, we're stopping the slide. We don't care if we get, one contract out, just his rookie contract out of this guy.
Yeah. Yeah. I think at that point, I mean, when Wallace and Hopper and guys are going, it's kind of like, all right, well,
yeah,
you're going to let us have Peyton Wilson at what was it? 98. 98. It's like, might as well. Training camp going to be rough. They're going to be running. Hey, that's how you, as I say, you're going to learn today.
That's how you get better, right?
Right. That's
iron sharpen iron.
Yeah. So he'll be able to learn that way. That's 100% true. Oh yeah, Dana, we got you with Edgerrin Cooper is a good one. Roman Wilson, that's, a choice. He's a solid guy. Nate brought up the play against Nebraska where he's leaping over a guy over his back to catch a pass. Like reliability is
gonna see that a lot between now and the season beginning.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
At all. I want to go through this because obviously the chat, a lot of you guys in here. We'll get there. Drew, we'll get to this one too. I'm gonna star that about Buffalo.
I wish I had your reaction to these picks queued up in video for me.
To these, all of mine.
Yeah, all of them.
Round two was a good time.
We're actually just gonna rate your reactions to the picks, not
now.
picks.
Now we're in contentception. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, we've already done this. Sorry. Now we're about day one. Smitty, any thoughts on what we got going on day 2? I know there's round 3 was a little weird for sure, but I think there's some goods on the defense here.
Yeah, round 2 starting out, like you said, with we get a couple receivers at the top, and Keon Coleman and Ladd McConkey going right away. Keon Coleman was actually like right at the beginning of the day. Who was it? Somebody put out to watch for him or Roman Wilson for the Steelers at 51, and then he just goes the first pick at round 2. And we're like, wow. Okay, that's off the board. What I will say, I'm a bit skeptical. I was definitely lower on him than most people in terms of what he's going to turn into. Super young, so like it's possible for sure, but very good blocker out the gate. So like I do think that Zach Azani and Arthur Smith would have appreciated that aspect of his game. But then you got into like a defensive run. Johnny Newton, Tavondre Sweat going at 38 was a bit insane to me. For a guy that's probably going to play 2 downs. Yeah, for guys going to play 2 downs. Braden Fisk goes after him, and then you see the defensive back run that we kind of touched on a little bit. Cooper DeJean, Kool-Aid McKinstry, Kamari Lasser, and Max Melton just in a row. But it was at this point for me as a Steeler fan where I was like, oh, Jackson Powers Johnson or Zach Frazier, one of those guys is landing on our lap at 51 because like the defensive back run is kind of what they needed. Now, like the Steelers certainly could have used the DB, but
for sure
that helped them. 46, first running back off the board. I wouldn't have thought Carolina would be the one to do that.
No.
Yeah, that was
it being Jonathan Brooks was not surprising, but the Carolina doing it was to me. A.D. Mitchell, 1 pick after the Steelers to the Colts. We touched on that before we started recording. Like, what does that mean? I think if I'm picking one receiver in that room that it's bad news for, it's probably Alec Pierce. I mean, Michael Pittman, they're obviously, locked into. And why am I blanking on the rookie receiver from last year?
Josh Downs, baby.
Josh Downs, baby. Hook. Who's going to do a lot of the underneath stuff and still obviously have a very defined role for them. So I think
So for
I think
Indy,
Alec
really
Pierce is
quick,
probably.
if they didn't have
Yeah.
to give up their 2, imagine if they had Bowers instead of Latu.
Oh,
Bowers
wow.
and Mitchell,
Yeah.
same draft.
Jeez.
Mhm.
Goodness sakes. And it sounded like people were trying to go up. They talked about the Rams today. They talked about the Colts, like trying to make a move up for Bowers.
Mhm.
Sneaky draft,
Also,
but
Atlanta going with Rook at 35 in a
I
move
like
up.
Rook, but man, whew.
I do too. I
But,
think that was
wait, let's go down
a bit wild.
Yeah, here. Yeah, this was I'm oh man, ads. Okay, yeah. I like Rook, good run defender, has some upside as a rusher, but you passed up a guy who has 102 pressures the last 2 years for that.
Yep. One
I
pick
just have
later.
a lot of questions about that strategy.
Man. And like Fisk is fine. I think he's good in the rotation. For me
Dude,
personally,
people were overhyping the hell out of him because of the combine. Like,
yeah.
again, I think he's fine. Would have been a good addition to a room, but
All the way down here,
Yep.
after the DT run ends, basically, you let the Bengals do this?
yeah, thanks, guys.
Well, you knew that Balky wasn't going to take the
Right,
rock
yeah.
solid player. He's going to take the guy who he thinks is a freak athlete who might be, might be nuts. This was surprise. I knew that the NFL was obviously going to value guys who were recruited highly.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess, Trent Baalke delivering as he usually does.
Trent Baalke's watching those Brett Coleman videos. That's what's going on.
Here it is. Yeah.
He compared Mason Smith to Stephon Tuitt.
To be fair, I might have said something about Mason Smith in that way too early mock that I definitely regret and will not be repeated here.
I thought like Mason Smith made sense as a Steelers target because he was probably gonna go like round 4-ish. Like this, I thought this was wild to me. But yeah, you're right. I want to ask you guys a question after I mention one more thing here. The Lions with another late round DB that I really like. Like after getting Terry on yesterday, Ennis Rakestraw at 61 today. Love that.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised he's here. I know he's thinner, but like I don't know, man. Guys above him, I mean Sanders still's a nickel, so I can't count that. If they're playing Melton outside, man, over Rakestraw, I don't know.
I mean, by that much, the gap in between those
18 picks
is yeah.
I feel like the Lions and the Niners had a nice little finish to round 2, honestly. This is a great point. Like I think you could be high on Mason Smith's potential, but like, man, 48.
Yeah.
Whew. Talk to him. You don't have to talk to Trent Baalke. We know what he's doing. We know the MO out there. There's nothing,
I want to ask what you thought about the Ravens draft.
Yeah. I'm kind of
Nate Wiggins, Roger Rosengarten, Adisa Isaac. Rosengarten, I love that pick, honestly. The value of that.
That was
I really like that pick too. That's an A pick for me.
Yeah, this was tough to see.
An immediate right tackle there.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, I think that he'll play right tackle because, like, you're talking about switching the footwork and stuff. But because Penix is left-handed, he's used to playing blindside. So, like, could he play left tackle at the next level? I think is an interesting question.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, he was blindside protect. Well, I mean, yeah, it's all about Ronnie Stanley's health, right? And that's going to play a part potentially if he flips over there. Yeah. As long as Stanley's healthy, I think you have a really strong starter at right tackle, and of course the Ravens do that. Not shocking for them. I was concerned for y'all because I thought they were going to take Baker at the end of the third, just because he was still there, or Franklin, and I was kind of like, oh boy, here we go again. But I mean, Isaac's not bad for them. That's.
I mean, you knew they weren't leaving without a Penn State pass rusher.
That's what Jake said yesterday. Was they just can't get away from him.
They can't. It's just they would have taken Chop. Convinced.
The Ravens also seem to have only thought that premium positions were available in the first 3 rounds, with offensive tackle, pass rush, and corner in the first. So they really hit the nail on the triad there.
Yeah, which I think they needed corner, honestly. Like,
I like Nate
something-
Wiggins.
yeah, he's a good coverage player.
Yeah, I really like Wiggins as a player, but like I'll bring up the same things in terms of why I was questioning a fit for the Steelers for the Ravens. I know he put on 9 pounds from the combine to his pro day, but like with what they asked their corners to do in terms of, you know, run defense and contributing in that way, coming downhill and playing in the AFC North, like I don't know. I'm curious to see how he is when these running backs get out on the perimeter, if he has to help out in the run game. I just think that wide receivers are going to take him to town. But like you're drafting him to play coverage. I don't know. I'm curious to see how he fits in the AFC North.
I think it's one of those things that it's going to come down to scheme heavily. Like how much can you protect him from those situations? And we'll see with the Ravens how much they can make that happen. But
yeah. I know everybody wants to hit on it. I want to hit on just everybody's quick thoughts as well on Green Bay after Jordan Morgan. Like, how do we feel about the next two? Is there one in there that's scratching your head? I know we kind of talked about Tyron Hopper already, but any thoughts?
I like the next two picks. I mean, I said Javon Bullard is my favorite player in the class, and Edge Cooper was there, linebacker 3 for me, but I mean they were all so close, and that's not taking into consideration Peyton Wilson's health, because I never really weigh that in my rankings because I'm not a doctor. I don't have the medical information, so I'm just going based off tape with that. But they were all pretty close. Him, Junior Colson, Peyton Wilson. I think it's kind of a flavor thing. And Edgerrin Cooper was like the first prospect that I watched this cycle. The first interest that I saw from the Steelers was that they loved Edgerrin Cooper at the Shrine Bowl. So he was like the first player that I watched this cycle. Came away very impressed. I just think he's so versatile. We've talked about how you can rush him off the edge to use him as a blitzer. I think QB spy. I think he's going to be a great fit for them. Javon Bullard, who's listed as a safety, I think is going to fit like a glove in the nickel in basically any scheme, and can contribute in so many different ways. I think he can do a lot of safety assignments as well. But I think most teams will he'll see a lot of his time in the slot, I think. So I don't have too many thoughts on Lloyd or Hopper, though. I mean, we touched on Hopper already.
Yeah.
Marshawn Lloyd, did you expect them to take a running back as early as they did? Like I figured that they would add a running back, but
I think it was more about like I didn't want them to take a running back early, honestly, because I was kind of like, there's just other positions to figure out, right? I would have liked to leave day 2 with 2 offensive linemen. I think San Francisco ruined it. I think that was the plan for sure. But I mean, Lloyd is kind of more of like, okay, this is good build at the position, but also has an electricity to him that Jacobs and Dylan especially do not have.
Yeah.
So I was there for that. I think, I mean, in the video I did, I was letting people know I'm Angelo Fantasy. I don't know if you know him on Twitter. He does a lot of, the skill position breakdowns and stuff, and some of the really detailed stuff. And he talked about like, Lloyd's transition from, kind of working east-west to north-south is so efficient and has so much explosion packed into it that like when you watch him do that, when you watch him press the line of scrimmage and then bounce runs out a little bit, like there's just a gear he hits that you kind of just can't believe. And I think there are the flashes of like him processing stuff correctly, setting up blocks is there. It's just not there snap to snap. And that's really the question I have. But like he doesn't have to be out there every snap. Like he can be, kind of a lightning bolt to the offense when they need it. So, yeah, I'm fine with Lloyd being behind Josh Jacobs there. I think overall I'm pleased, other than, the Lions moving up to take Arnold 1 pick in front. That was not pleased. Trading out of Kool-Aid, getting Pooney taken 2 picks in front. But, like, overall I think I'm focused on the middle 3 here. We might switch out the bread for the sandwich at some point, may not be thrilled there, but like the ingredients in the middle, I like that, at least how it looks on the list there. So
like full disclosure, I didn't watch running backs like at the somewhat top of this class at all. Like Najee and Jalen were the guy. They added Cordero Patterson. I watched like Kamani Vidal, Ray Davis, like the guys of that ilk. Like those were my guys this cycle that I was watching. Vidal, dude, I think Vidal has a lot of Jalen Warren to his game. Like that's who he reminded me
of. That's actually a really good comp. That's really good comp actually. Holy cow! Yeah.
like even down to like the pass pro stuff. Like I just
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like him, Wright, Brooks are like pass pro guys, especially in this class, where you go, yeah, okay, they're offering a lot in that department. Brooks was doing like, lead blocker stuff for Keelan Robinson at sometimes, and like that was kind of wild to see. Wiggins calling him, yeah, risky prospect. Ooh, let's Jake did a nice video of Lloyd. Thank you. Thank you. Kamani Vidal draft crush. There you go. Yeah,
There
a
we
lot
go.
of picks. Yep, covered most of our needs. That's true.
Why did they say
at
Steelers?
Steelers.
I don't know. At Steelers,
Change
dude.
the Twitter now.
Wait, at the Steelers, dude. That's what he's saying. There it is.
All right.
Yeah.
That's what he's saying. I
Steelers,
think.
dude.
There you go. That's what Drew's saying.
Gotcha, Drew.
I don't know.
It's got to be the new at on Twitter
fair.
for sure.
That's fair. I didn't put. See,
My
I didn't
fault.
put his. That's the thing. I put his name up on Twitter. I put the handle up on Twitter, not on YouTube. That's my B. Yeah, this was the other thing. Daniel Jeremiah had Lloyd RB1. No. No.
What just happened?
Nate was messing. This is what happens when I get Nate co-hosts
make the
stuff.
names come up. It did not happen.
Oh, I think you have to. I think I have to take this off. Nope.
Oh, that makes sense.
I guess not.
I was just seeing if I could make it happen.
Never
That's what
mind.
it would be. That's what it would be, but you must have it where
I must have it where the names don't display. I don't know.
yeah.
Kamani rules. But yeah, Lloyd was, I can't believe that, number one on Jeremiah's big board.
I feel like
Which
he
is
was really
shocking.
interesting with his running back rankings this year. Like I mean, I don't dislike Bucky Irving, and again, I didn't like watch
do.
enough of him to know, but but Daniel Jeremiah really likes Bucky Irving as well.
I think he can be like James White, but I feel like the talk about him being like a lead back got way out of hand. And
Yeah,
I
well,
was
he
just-
yeah, and that's the thing is Daniel Jeremiah had him high, but said that he's not a number one back. Like,
so
all right,
that
well, what
everybody
are we
below
doing
him. I mean, I don't know, man. I do think though, like Jeremiah, I think having him RB1 is projection. I think saying that he has a super high ceiling in this draft is fair. So I can buy that. Saying he's got that maybe the highest upside of anybody. Best running back right now. No, Brooks is better. Like I don't see that. Wow, that's Jalix Hunt 54th. That's pretty high as well. I didn't know that either. Tez Walker is still around. We pick. I can see him grabbing Christian Watson insurance. Yep. To the top 30 visit. Sorry, Nate. What's up?
This was a big thing for me earlier today, just on the off-field side of things. Did you see David Tepper at the restaurant in Charlotte?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so did you know
Yes, I
what the
did.
sign that the restaurant had up said? 'Cause
Yeah.
I did not. I just found that out.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, I was
It's-
trying to figure out what sign they could have up, but the
Oh, yeah.
Yak had a guy that was there when it happened call in, and they tested this guy basically to see like if another man snatches a hat from your head, are you mad or are you confused? Because that's what he did.
Yes.
And like for me, I'm both, right? But like
Yeah.
I know people that would hit you in the face like instantly.
Probably. Did you see this, Smitty? Did you see the thing?
Mm-mm.
So
No,
there,
I'll
send
so
it
this
to you.
restaurant had a sign. Nate, I don't know if you can share screen. You might be able to.
Oh, I might be able to actually.
But
Yeah, I
like
can.
essentially, this restaurant had a sign I think that said basically like let the coach and GM make picks. I'm pretty sure. Is that essentially what it was?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Which is like,
Can you see that?
Yeah.
yeah. There's, I mean, like, my brother comes in, looks like an okay conversation. Yeah. Please let the coach and GM pick this year. And then he took his hat off.
And he just
Like, what is that? What is that?
it looks like they're laughing, but I don't know, man.
Strange behavior from the potentially the worst owner in the sport right now.
I've got some questions. All of Charlotte hates this man though, so
Yeah.
even the soccer team hates this man, Charlotte FC.
True.
Well, I'm surprised he didn't throw a drink on him.
I'm
Well,
I just
there
can't.
is that
I don't
too.
know. If I was a host at a restaurant, the grown ass man came in and took the hat off my head, you might get hit.
Yeah. Heck, I stepped away. Yeah, it was weird. Just a weird interaction. I did not. Yeah. 56 on the big board at RB1. Yeah. Comp for Lloyd. That's a tough one. Lee, I'm not sure. I'm terrible at comps, to be honest. Trying to think of a player who accelerates really well like that. And I'm not coming up with guys that are recent enough. I suck at comps, Lee. That's my bad.
I'm not a big
Lance
comp.
Zierlein's NFL comp is Jerick McKinnon for him.
Okay, yeah, I buy that. Actually, that's pretty good. See, let Lance do the work.
We'll just regurgitate it.
Yeah, if I see one, I'll say it, but like usually I don't that much. So, other than when I think I called Jahmyr Gibbs Jamal Charles, so you know,
Tough.
You like that
Kamani
good
Vidal
first year, Jalen Warren one though.
That's really good. That's really good. Yeah, Lloyd hasn't had a lot of carries either. I want to get to these because Drew said he didn't really like Buffalo's draft. Yeah, this is okay. You know, I'm not moved emotionally, I don't think, but it could be fine.
Although Cole Bishop's cousin apparently watches my content, so hopefully they don't come across if I say I don't like this draft all. It's really weird. So Alan, who I do the afternoon drive with, was down at the Senior Bowl. Cole Bishop was down there. Somebody left a comment in one of our videos and was like, "Hey, while you're down there, say hi to my cousin. He's a safety from Utah. His name's Cole Bishop." And we were like, "What? Like, if this is a lie, this is such a weird lie to make up." So like, but they've kind of so like I don't know if his cousin's a Steelers fan because they've watched a couple other times since then and like are pretty active in the comments. So, yeah, I'm not sure if they follow me on anything or if they come across my content ever, but
yeah.
But if so, we love you, Cole Bishop.
Yeah,
I think the fit is fine.
Come on the show.
I think the fit's fine if they're going to keep him in split field or play him in the box. Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. I think it's I think this is fine. Dwayne Carter, I'm actually a decent fan of. Down there that late.
I mean,
especially with
the
many
argument's
DTs.
there for me that Keon Coleman was their worst pick.
Oh, I think it is. I think so. I mean, it's hard. It must be difficult. Buffalo fans go, yeah, we got Keon Coleman, and then the Chargers take Ladd right after, and it's just like, oh yeah, that's absolutely crushed it. Braden loves that Buffalo fans are sad, so that's that's funny.
That picture never ceases to amuse me.
Like I definitely get Cole Bishop because of losing Micah, like not having Micah Hyde there anymore. Like I think that he can do a lot of the same things. Like the versatility is great. Like single high, two high, box, slot, can blitz. So
a lot of these safeties can move around a lot, which is nice. I don't know how many true single high guys we're looking at, but at the very least they can move around, do a lot of different things. Lateral switch does seem elite for sure. Keon Coleman's stiff as a board. I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind Christian Boyd. Top 30 visit, low RAS, bench 38. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised. There were a lot of DTs that went, and Boyd did not. I just feel like they got pushed away from the board. That was very.
That's another Steelers top 30 as well.
There you go. Okay. The more I thought about it, the more I kind of liked it. Because the one
including
thing I really
round
like,
1, right?
Yeah.
Overall, including round 1.
Right. Okay. Melton, I think if they play him in the slot, that's really cool. Which they might. They took Elijah Jones, who's pretty good press corner. Like that's
there's I know he was off a lot of teams' boards, including the Steelers.
I have heard that. I think he was off Green Bay's as well, by the way. Someone let me know about that. I'm almost certain he was.
I cannot believe that he went in the 3rd round based off what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. So maybe Melt. So let's say I'll say that Melton maybe he is playing outside. Who knows? Who can say?
Yep.
But I thought he was I think he's a really good nickel. Like he, pressing Roman Wilson in the slot, but also impressed against Marvin Harrison this past year too. But I think the slot is a really strong spot for him. But really, what I like about Arizona's is, Nate, we were kind of talking about this. The identity that we're seeing here. Drew Petzing says, "Nah, we're running the ball. We're going to run the rock. We are not afraid to run the rock." Isaiah Adams, versatile lineman, but to add Tip Ryman back into the mix, Ryman and McBride 2 tight end sets, which they were in 2 tight end sets a lot last year. What they did to Philly late in the year, masterclass. And now they have a trump card.
Literally enjoyed nothing more in this collegiate football season, and this is not an exaggeration, than watching Tip Ryman block. If you go
this is clear Illinois bias right now.
It is. No, it 100% is, but 50% is his run blocking is insane. The other stuff, we'll see if it comes along, but I like him more than I like Isaiah Adams in terms of going down the road, but we'll see. But I like this draft from the Cardinals from the jump. Very hard to miss when that pick is Marvin Harrison.
I mean, Marvin Harrison Jr. was a great selection for sure.
Yeah. I don't think 32 out of 32 teams would say that.
They might be able.
Good pick, no
they
notes.
Might be able to get. They might be able to get the most out of Darius Robinson. I like the Steelers had a top 30 with him, so I watched him, but I was like, I'm so scared of those tweeners, like especially because the Steelers haven't had success with them. So Arizona might. I don't know how good they are going to be about getting the most out of him, but like worried me. But I love Max Melton. Max Melton was my CB7, I think, somewhere. So
I know he was nickel 3 for me because I just loved him inside.
Oh, that's interesting. I should probably start doing that. So you differentiate in your CB rankings between the two. That I probably should as well. Yeah.
I toyed with the idea of just labeling Bowers not as a tight end, just offensive weapon, leave him in his own column. But that a little too much, I think, there. But yeah, I just because I thought like the top 4 or 5 guys that I ranked for nickel, I'm like, oh man, these guys could come in, start right away, and we could see like a really nice influx of talent here. When you see guys like McDuffie playing really well at the position when he goes inside like that, Kyle Hamilton plays in the nickel sometimes. I'm here for it. I'm excited about this, but also to get back to Arizona, like bet on athletes at tight end. We know that's been a thing for a long time, and also just like they can punish you now.
Theo Johnson,
still available. Maybe do it. You have the 4th pick in the 4th round, Arizona.
Actually, I don't even know if I put that out there, but like I've put out some spicier takes, and I didn't even put this one out there. I don't think Theo Johnson was my tight end too.
Heck yeah, man. Same. Let's get after it.
There we go.
I might even have something crazier. I have Eric All at 3.
I think that's fair. I don't see it with Sanders.
Yeah, I think it's fine. He's very straight line. Very straight line. Which Braden said he's surprised that as many tight ends didn't go today. I think it was just
Ryman, I think it was just Tip and
Ryman and Sinnott to the Commanders. That's it.
I think
Bowers, Johnson, Sinnott, All, Stover, Sanders.
Okay, Bowers.
This is what I have here.
Okay, I have Bowers, Johnson, All, Sanders, Sinnott, Stover. Jaheim Bell, offensive weapon, next on the list.
Jaheim Bell is if the Steelers would have been looking for a tight end in this class, it would have been Theo Johnson or Jaheim Bell. Jaheim Bell, I don't know if you saw this, but literally his mock draftable, his RAS, 1-to-1 comparison basically with Jonnu Smith.
Jeez.
Yeah, I mean, dude's taking freaking jet sweeps at South Carolina, man, and housing them. Like, he's not Debo. We're not going there. We're not doing that. But like, yeah, I like that.
Who took Sinnott? I think we went over that.
The Commanders did. It was just
right.
like
Okay, I knew
day-
we were looking at this one already.
day 2 masterclass from them. Like
Yeah.
Arizona's gonna punish you with Benson and James Conner. They're going to punish you.
Yeah.
And when they get bored of that, they'll just have Marvin Harrison Moss, who's ever out there playing corner on him. Like, and play action could be fun, right? Trey McBride up the seam, over the middle, like good stuff for them. Good stuff for them.
Gonna be a good time.
Yeah. Any other classes we want to hit on? I know we're going for an hour, and it feels like we've been going for maybe 10 minutes.
I wasn't expecting to look up and see that hour. You said that, I
No,
was like,
not
"Oh,
at all. Not
Yeah.
at all.
I looked at the clock and I was like, did my electricity go out? Did I like lose time here
I
somewhere?
know. We're going at the speed of light, I think. But that slows time down. We're not getting into this. It's too late.
My brain
I
can't
have no
handle
idea
that.
what's happened there.
The Rams have actually made 4 selections already, which is kind of wild.
The New Age Rams.
Yeah.
They took both Florida State guys. They did.
That's true.
They took 3 state of Florida guys. Didn't even think about that at the time.
Yeah, they took it. I will say it's cool. We kind of I mentioned. I don't know how. It's been a long week and it's late. Nate, were you on when I mentioned the Florida State duo as like, oh, they were transfers from Western Michigan and Albany, play together at Florida State. Now they're going to get to play together at the next level.
I don't think I was on, but yeah. It's wild,
brother. Yeah, good for Kinchins. Glad he gets picked in the 3rd after kind of got derailed at the combine. Might be a playmaker in that defense. Playmaker.
I don't know, man. Like I would take him there for my team for sure. Like
at some point, same thing with Peyton Wilson. Like at some point, like it's fine.
Yeah, 2.42 RAS, but like I get that. Like it's got to be part of the conversation, right? But like the tape's the tape too. Like he can play football.
Yeah. One of the couple, maybe 2 guys, I'm like, yeah, that's legit range in this class. Like the range is legit back there. And he's not probably gonna even do that at with the Rams. They might not ask him to be doing that a lot. They might ask him to be, flying downhill, which he can do at a high level. Yeah, basically, right? That's true. Yeah, day 3 corners for the Packers. I think guys have kind of hit that really well in the comments. Tampa, Cam Hart, and Kyrie Jackson. Brownlee for nickel. I almost graded Brownlee at nickel.
Is that not being interested in DJ James or just not a fit?
I think it's just because of the size.
Okay.
Is probably why. And it's probably why they weren't in on Rakestraw, which stinks, honestly. But yeah.
You know who you guys need, actually?
What's that?
Kalen King.
I don't know, man. While you're at it, grab the other Penn State corners. Let's party. Like
although Daquan Hardy as a slot, I can get on board with, but
that's not a bad idea. Yeah, I'm
could have a wide out at Lambeau.
Yeah, you could.
There you go. Jarvis Brownlee, though, that's another guy that I would. There's so many guys.
I almost made him a nickel in the rankings as well. I should have. I think
he is. I think he will.
Yeah,
I think he will be. Like a lot of these guys, dude. Like we're talking about, Daquan Hardy, MJ Devonshire, Jarvis Brownlee. I think they're all.
Oh, Devonshire's like I would be on the table.
Yeah.
In a draft room on day 3 for Devonshire. Yeah.
Well,
I would just point to a graph. So. I would just point to a graph, be like, look at all these pit DBs taking on day 3. They keep sticking in the league. Hello. This is a market inefficiency.
Dude, their assignments in college are just insane. Like they put them on islands. Narduzzi's defenses are just so stupid. Like, yeah, so they're battle tested by the time they get to the league, and they're better players in the pros than they were in college.
And I think for Green Bay's scheme, you're going to need to be battle tested. Like truthfully, I do think you need to be battle tested out there, and that's why
they like Senior Bowl guys.
That's why I thought Kool-Aid was going to be a fit, because like they're asking like, hey, you better cover this guy, and he's just like, yeah, I got you, dog.
Avonte Maddox might have been the most hated player that I've ever seen at Pitt during his time there, and look at the career that he's carved out for himself.
Just carving it, yeah. It's just like, just take them. Just take them. That's an insane stat. That's an insane stat. Not really.
That
a
is
stat, but just,
Oh,
just
wow.
a fact. They don't have a pick from the 2nd to the 4th next year either,
Oh my gosh.
and they didn't pick today. It's insane.
That's nuts.
Absolutely
Well,
insane.
It's a tough,
JJ better hit.
good young division.
Yep.
That's not a great look.
Yeah, that's wild that they don't pick that much.
Speaking of changing times, one thing I want to make sure we acknowledge is the birth of the West Coast NFL team with the Pac-12 on day 1 with 8 players to the SEC's 11.
The Steelers took a player from the Pac-12.
Yeah, this is the
it's
story.
nuts.
The story of the draft.
It's nuts.
The Steelers realized, wait a minute, what the hell's this coast out west?
You can
There's
cross the
people out there?
Mississippi? Hold on a minute. You're allowed to cross this thing? It's huge.
Well, you know what it is.
Steelers
So
are living real life civil war.
former Steelers tight end Mark Bruner is a scout at Washington now. He's their West Coast scout. His sons also are on the football team at Washington. So they got some pretty good intel there. I thought there was a good chance that that's where they went receiver as well.
3 guys from Washington in the first round.
Yeah.
So when you take the teams that are moving from the Pac-12 into the Big Ten, and you combine those 2 numbers, it outweighs the SEC by a fairly decent margin there.
That's right. That's right. SEC. Get owned. That's right.
Excluding the math of the teams joining the SEC, which I will not discuss.
That's funny, but Kwesi cooked, though. That's fun. .com, appreciate you hanging out with us late night. This is, well, for Nate and I, this is regular hours, I think. I don't know about Smitty if this is regular hours.
I don't know, man. I don't stay up like I used to.
I mean, weekend somewhere around this range, maybe like
Okay.
on the later end around this range.
Friday.
Yeah,
That's true. But it's just draft. The draft buzz is strong right now.
Yeah. This is probably around the time I went to sleep last night as well, even though I had to wake up
not
at
me.
6:30 or something.
Jake did not sleep last night.
5, 6 o'clock. I was like, yeah, okay, I probably should.
Yeah, you sent Derek and I that thing at whatever time it was, and I was like, is he waking up or going to sleep?
Yeah, what time was that at? It was
2:39.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
2:39 is like your dinner time.
Yeah, 100%. I had a nice little pint of ice cream at about 2:30.
Fourth meal at 4:30.
I'll be real about it. I did.
Jake's the ambition for that old Taco
I had
Bell
2
commercial.
streams on while I was grinding the Jordan Morgan tape. That's what
Gosh.
Thursday night was like into Friday morning. So
See, the thing with me, I don't go to bed as late as I do anymore because my dogs sit here and whine behind me until I go to bed. And it is annoying.
yeah. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate that. I don't know how long we're gonna be on here, but I want to hit the Chargers draft for sure. Because this is just like this is solid, man.
Yeah.
Someone mentioned
Only 3 picks, but
I forget who
good ones.
tweeted it.
Quality
Someone was
of
like, "Would
quantity.
you rather have had Neighbors or Alt and McConkey? Neighbors and insert tackle that may have been maybe overdrafted in round 2." I'm trying to think of the first offensive lineman was picked on day 2, and I can't think of it. So we had a
Patrick
big
Paul?
run. Patrick. Oh wow, that was the second round. That was the first one on day 2.
I believe so.
Whoa. Yeah, it might have been. Goodness. But yeah, I think that's not even a question. I love Malik Neighbors, but like McConkey's going to get open. Like I think with McConkey, it's just like the timing routes, because Herbert's so precise in that and so rhythmic with how he plays that he's going to be like, yeah, McConkey's that connection is going to be so good as long as he's healthy.
Yeah. Yeah, I like McConkey a lot. I mean, Buffalo, I thought that's the direction they were going to go to kick off tonight. And Deion Coleman said.
Yeah, I thought it was McConkey or Franklin for sure. I was like, oh yeah, there's just grabbing a couple picks. They'll take one of those two and off we go. But
yeah, I mentioned this to you and Derek when we were talking, but like, I don't know, like it's not, I don't think, unless we couldn't find it in our Google research about him, but like the footwork and head movement, like at the stem of his routes, like it looks like he's boxing. Like I was like, does he shadow box or something? Because like his footwork is just like, yeah.
Yeah, he's just doing. Yeah, he's doing all kinds of stuff out there. He just him and Pearsall just like they're just good. No notes, like no problem.
How about I had Pearsall as wide receiver 6? Was the 6th wide receiver off the board?
Now you're talking. Now you're talking right there. That was, yeah. This is true, and like it's going to turn quickly. Like they're going to be. Could they magically make Quentin Johnston good? We're going to find out.
No, there's no way to do that. But I mean, outside of that, Josh Palmer stock up.
Josh
with Lad
Palmer,
McConkey in town.
Yeah, and they're not done. They could get. I mean,
What's their next pick?
They pick 5th tomorrow.
Oh yeah,
Javon Baker time. Troy Frank. Oh Troy. Oh man. Oh, if they get one of those two, they've got the deep ball and they've got all the intermediate short stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jim Harbaugh's
Me too.
definitely a cornball, man. Does he do it? Do you think that's on purpose that he does that kind of stuff? Or
I think he does it more purposefully than PJ Fleck does.
okay.
I think PJ Fleck is a natural cornball. I think Harbaugh knows that it works.
That
for
it
him.
plays?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's my theory.
it's his fastball.
This might be a team that didn't win.
Yeah, they were in my bottom 3, along with the 2 that took quarterbacks that shouldn't have, in the Broncos and Falcons.
This
For my worst value.
is not great.
It's tough.
Where did you have Latham?
5th?
Did you do like an overall?
Oh, overall. I mean, I could do it. I can put it together.
But you,
I had Latham as an early day 2 grade at tackle.
Okay, that's fair. Oh, jeez.
Also, to preface, he was tackle 5, but I have Talisa Fuanga as a guard in the like second to top tier because I just think he'd be utterly dominant there.
He was my tackle 6, 22nd overall player.
Latham?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, he would have been tackle 6 for me too if I graded Fuanga as a tackle for sure.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
So like, I don't know, man.
That
I just
look.
And are they gonna ask him to go over to left?
I think they gotta.
Here's the one thing that makes me, and this is more of a credit to him than it is about Latham, is the fact that he's getting Callahan as his coach.
Well, that's true. So he's probably good. So he's probably gonna be good.
But I look at him and just that inside move, man, just getting beat over and over again.
That's the.
I wonder if he would be better off at guard. Like if you didn't take him at 7, just had him on the roster and said he's a guard. Okay, fine. I think that you can definitely get away with that. The one reason that I'm maybe saying that it's going to work out is just giving that much credit to Bill Callahan and his coaching.
One of his best landing spots, well, 2 of them, I think would have been Minnesota and Seattle because they've already got some establishment there. Like he can go out and play right tackle on a pinch for Abe Lucas, but he doesn't have to. And Minnesota's already got the established 2 out there. He could have he could just slide in. So, yeah, I mean, he's definitely worried about being. Yeah, this is the other thing. He's worried about losing the corner. Which again, yeah, you're a bigger guy and you're not as as quick as some of these guys. That's yeah. They did have to take an offensive tackle. I figured take that fella to 20. Imagine him with Callahan. Goodness, that's. I don't think the league handled it.
Should we get the gold jacket ready now, sir?
Yeah, exactly. Sad that the Browns picked Michael Hall Jr. Yeah, I was kind of upset about that as well. That was we were talking.
I'm a Steelers and Ohio State fan, so
yeah.
How do you think I feel about this?
Yeah, I mean this is solid. Zinter's fine. Hall is young. He's like, what, not even 21, barely 21, something like that. Very Browns selection there. Yeah, we surprised the Jets took tackle a little. But again, I thought they were going to take. That's my thing with the Jets. Where are you? Here it is. Why didn't they take someone with flexibility at 10? Unless they think Fashanu can play guard. But they had both of those guys as options.
Yeah.
And they
Fotano
decided
and
on
Fuanga.
Fashanu. Yeah. That was confusing to me. What was the one
I mean,
thing where I'm like,
That's fair too. And can Fashanu even play the other side as well? Like they might have taken a strictly left
say.
tackle here.
Yeah, which is I was like, oh, that's okay. So what's the best 5 then? Because Fashanu playing guard is weird. Maybe I don't know. I don't. I'm not quite sure. And also Corley, that's 63.
Hey, it wasn't top 50 like we were hearing, but
That's true.
With the way that the board was still at receiver at that point, that's not where I would have gone.
Yeah.
But what's funny is, remember what was that like 2 years ago? The interest from the Jets and Deebo Samuel, like they were talking about like the number 10 overall pick, and then they get like like a flat Pepsi version of Deebo Samuel.
Yeah. Is that flat Pepsi version like Cordell Patterson or LaVisca or I think we're just trying to make Deebo happen too much. I really do.
I know. That's why I had to throw the lazy comp that everybody seems to have thrown out there. I mean, I get it. It's a guy that, you're scheming up touches for around the line of scrimmage, just getting the ball in his hands and saying, go do yak things.
My favorite thing, you said this on your stream about Treylon Burks when he got drafted. He's like, he's good with the ball in his hands, but how do you get the ball in his hands? It's just one of the best. It's just one of the best ones. Where it's like, yep, exactly.
Yeah,
that sounds like a problem.
How's that one been working out?
That sounds like a problem. Yeah,
that was a great trade-off.
To be fair, Vrabel's got to be sitting around like, man, I was so right about that.
Yeah,
just,
gents, I have to call it a night and pull the plug.
One more. All right.
But it was a pleasure as always, and I will look forward to talking with you soon.
All right, Nate.
Take it easy.
Thanks everybody for tuning in, and we'll look forward to year 9. Like and subscribe. Jake won't remember to tell you to do that, so go do that. Get this man to 2,000. He works hard. See ya.
Here you go. Oh, I thought he was going to hang in the green room for about 5 seconds looking for the leave studio button. You think A-Rod plays? I think he's playing 2 more years probably, if he can. I guess is the deal, right?
Yeah.
Is the deal.
Yeah. We'll see once the Jets draft a quarterback. I think we'll have an indication.
Yeah, it's true. There were some Packer fans that were kind of like, "Oh, the Jets are going to draft a quarterback, aren't they?" I'm serious about this. Aren't they going to do it? I'm like, no, they can't. They can't. Like that would be like Terry Fontenot explanation to Arthur Blank. Like Douglas would kind of have to be like to the owner, like, yeah, this is what we need to do, and I just don't think the owner would sign off on that. So
right.
Oh yeah, Drew, we're both of us in this room big on Pearsall, big on that.
I mean, for him, what a great spot to go to as well. Like, and Shanahan. Fair. But like, what are they gonna do? What are they doing with their receiver room?
No, they're vibing. They are vibing, and you know what? I'm here for it.
Like,
I'm here for that.
Do people not like? Juwan Jennings is a good player too. Like what?
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
trade him to us if you're not trading Ayuk or Samuel.
Yeah, I figured if they were going to get traded, it was at the very least going to be tonight. But now it's like, how long are they going to wait? Training camp, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
The first Jets see Corley in practice, and they go, "Yeah, we need the real thing. Hi, how you doing? Like, hey, John, how's it going? Joe Douglas here. We're ready to do the trade.
They wanted 51 from the Steelers tonight for Deebo, and they would have done it.
Man, that would be nice. Deebo and Arthur Smiths. Deebo becomes your best outside zone running back, I think, as well, immediately. That's.
Yeah.
We're joking that Justin Fields might be that currently. Might actually be the best.
Yeah, the offense would be a lot of fun. I wouldn't mind that contract's just terrible, in my opinion. The cap hits that he has for the next 2 seasons.
Oh yeah,
But
it's not
I don't know. I mean, it's like 28 million, I think, and then 26 or something.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I don't know.
The Niners have a lot of money into a lot of guys right now. Like they
Right.
are thrilled that the cap went up as much as it did, because they were pushing last year's with like their top 11 or 14, something like that.
Mhm.
So
I mean, if you look at like every position, they have like a top 5 highest paid guy
yeah,
at every spot. There is no way Derek is just now commenting this. Please tell me he's about to like jump on YouTube and go. Were you live at all, Derek?
I looked. I
Or you
thought he wasn't,
Okay.
but maybe.
Okay.
I'll send you that link, Derek. I'm
No.
not scared. You up?
What in the world has this man been doing? I guess probably putting stuff together for our draft picks
wasn't.
tonight.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, bet. Oh,
It was in the
okay.
pod. Oh, okay. It's the pod.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, Hollywood.
Yeah, this isn't fair. I don't like this. No.
Yeah.
No, man.
We didn't even talk. How did we not talk about this one yet? Ricky Pearsall, Renardo Green, and Don Pooney.
Well, because I'm so over the fact that they traded up to the Eagles spot at 86 and took Pooney 2 picks in front of Green Bay. I was beside myself for a good 3 minutes, I think. So wait. Yeah?
That might be to me calling him Hollywood.
Oh. Okay. Well, if he's hopping in, I ain't mad about it. Where was the? Oh yeah, these cats here. They were talking about Kingsley at 32.
Right.
And you get him at 63.
I thought him or San Fran. Those to me were the 2 landing spots for him.
Yeah.
So I like it.
And San Fran said, "Yeah."
How quickly does he play? Does he sit an entire year?
I don't know. He might. Would they consider moving Juwan Taylor over to left tackle, let him play right tackle? Because I think he'd be okay over there
right away.
I think he'd maybe be okay at right tackle right away, but like, I mean, at left tackle it was rough. He did not look controlled at all with the movement, and maybe he's just right tackle. But like I can get behind it at right tackle if he wants to start right away. There might be some warts, but like, so if he's missing some blocks and Worthy's dropping the ball in week 3, I'm not sure it matters at all, right? Like maybe just give him the experience early, let him find himself if he's got the confidence to do that, and they'll win a 3rd Super Bowl in a row. Like that's it is what it is, I guess.
How much time's he spending with his cousin right now training? He's Penei Sewell's cousin.
He needs 25.
Yeah.
Get him on that 25-7 resume, right? Like, let's do that, right? I think that would help a lot. But the upside's tremendous there. I think I might be more willing. I don't know. The landing spot for tackles, I think, is an underrated thing. Like Guyton going to Dallas now, where they've been really good with this. Like Tyler Smith, it like clicked immediately. Immediately with him. So, oh man. I mean, that's essentially what we're doing with him. This is essentially saying that, right? It's not fair.
Yeah.
It's not fair. That was the one moment I keep looking back on our stream last night, Smitty, it's just like, oh, the Bills traded it to the Chiefs?
What are you doing?
You traded it to them?
Yeah.
And you didn't ask for a lot. And you let them have one of the Texas guys. Like, thank you so much. Thanks, Buffalo. Thank you.
Awful.
Thank you. Anything else we want to hit on draft wise here? I know it's already 90 minutes somehow. No idea how we've gotten here.
I feel like we've touched on pretty much every team. Actually, go to the Bears, like obviously minus, because I don't know what they did.
They took Kieran.
Okay, so yeah, Amagaji was the only pick today. Okay, I wasn't sure what they had on day 2.
Yeah.
Which is fine. How many?
No, I like it.
1 year tackle.
Yeah, I like it. This is a tough scene to look at right now. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Not a fan of looking at this at the moment.
Go to Carolina. Did we look at Carolina
Yeah.
yet?
I don't think we did. It's not what I thought Carolina was going to have through 3 rounds. This was not, especially because like you look at needs up here, right? Obviously, it's part of it, but linebacker was not one where I'm like, oh yeah, that's. But again,
Right.
also I don't know if I could name 2 linebackers on their team, so that's another problem perhaps. But
They invested in the interior of the offensive line, obviously in free agency. They just threw
They
money
did.
at guards. But like, okay, I guess they're just saying, okay, we completely believe in a rebound at both tackle spots this year. Like,
yeah,
okay. I don't know, which is crazy. I remember I was watching back to the mock draft we did before last year's draft with me, you, Richie, and Tyler, and all we were doing was talking about how good Ekwonu was his rookie year.
Yep.
Like, how in the world was his sophomore year that bad?
That was insane.
Like, because we were talking about Bryce, we were like, this
Yeah.
is going to be a good situation for him to go into because the offensive line relatively competent for a team that's picking number 1.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think, but it's funny because we talked about it. I remember kind of being like, yeah, I might swing on Anthony Richardson here.
Yeah.
At the start of the top of that rather than take him, which Take's looking good right now, people. Take's looking good. Should have had the stones to rank Young 3rd on the the big board at QB. But it's hard to know, man. Situation can dictate so much, and confidence can be shot already at this point for him. But like,
yeah, that's what you're saying about the situation. Like, I want to go now and make once the draft wraps up after tomorrow, I want to go through and make videos like re-ranking players now based off how I feel that their landing spots will dictate the rankings. Like,
especially QBs. Like if you go
and I don't have to move Ricky Pearsall. Wide receiver 6 is going to look great for me now.
Yeah, it looks really good. Wide receiver 6, Javon Baker's in trouble. Or 5. Sorry, 5. It's even worse. It's even worse.
Yeah.
Any good corners left? I mean, yeah, Kyrie Jackson, feisty. Cam Hart's feisty. I know people want to convert him to safety. At least some people say that.
What do you like Kalen Carson at all out of Wake Forest? I mean, the thing with him, like, that I thought was interesting, I didn't have him in my top 10 or anything, but played inside and outside and also traveled with number 1 receivers. I know we're talking about, in the ACC, not the SEC or anything like that, but like constantly moving around with teams number 1s.
And he's, I think, part of the reason why sitting here I'm like, yeah, Coleman, man, what happened after the LSU game? Because Carson said no, sir, all game.
Yeah,
like it was stem disruption immediately, and there was nothing left. Like maybe he's an aggressive type Green Bay would like on day 3. That's very possible. I would love to shout this guy.
Yeah. Yep.
Here's the guy. Here's the fellow right here. Here he is.
So I did a top 30 for corners, actually.
Did you?
Yeah, because somebody was like, if you did top 50 for wide receivers, how many corners did you watch? I watched 33 corners in total.
Wow.
Wow. At least a couple games. The guys at the top were 5. Guys like Andrew Phillips, Kamari Lassiter, TJ Tampa, Elijah Jones, DJ James, they were probably like 3-ish. Miles Harden, though, he finished as CB 16, which, like, in this class
might be right where I got him. Yeah.
Yeah. He's kind of in that same ilk, like the Kalen Carson range for me.
I know
so
the arm length is going to be what everybody points to probably. But maybe another guy where it's just like, oh, another nickel corner, you say. Interesting. Tell me more. But like, I heard, I know the stock exchange guys mentioned him, right? I think, was it Connor maybe who said it? It was like one of his guys in the late, I think they did a late round gems show, and I think it might have been Connor who said it was him, but I think, arm length aside, like, a lot of talent here. I remember we were kind of talking about, it was even talking about him Monday perhaps, where I'm like, I need to get to him final watch, and like, I'm glad I did because, yeah. But Never take smalls. If that's a Chiefs reference, I don't know. It might not. It might not matter. Never take smalls unless you have Andy Reid. Then take smalls, and it's fine. How much impact players are left now?
What about DeCamari and Richardson as well?
Yeah, that's a good. Here we go. Yeah.
Oh, my
There we
bad.
go.
I didn't even see.
Yeah,
He threw Josh Newton in there.
he
too.
did throw Josh
That's
Newton in
easy.
there as well.
Yeah.
Oh, but I think we might have won the Miles Harden race though. Miles battle. Oh, there was someone else.
6'2", 188, 861 RAS.
Oh, for
For
battle.
DeCamari.
Oh, for
No,
D-
DeCamari and Richardson.
I'll be honest. Some of these guys that I watched like a few days before the draft, I don't even look at any of this because I'm like, I just need to watch to see anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is pretty solid. It's still available. So
What's the Packers like height weight thresholds?
usually they like to be in the 190s.
Okay.
Pretty comfortably. Devonshire.
Yeah.
From Pitt.
Yeah.
That's another one. But because Adam made me think of it because he brought up Woods. Chiefs and Bryce Young for no smalls. I mean, yeah, the Bryce Young thing now. He was an outlier and not looking too good right now. So confused what's wrong with TJ Tampa because it isn't the tape. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. You just feel like at some point you could, for some teams, they could obviously say scheme maybe a little bit, and it's like, oh, this scheme at Iowa State's very funky. What are we, how do we marry that to the evaluation, the projection? Sure, but at this point, I don't know. Maybe it'll be quick tomorrow for him, and it'll be off first 5 picks. But
yeah, I don't get it. For a dude that's 6', 189, I think he's crazy fluid.
Was it that bad?
What?
Was it that
Horrible
bad? The
testing.
testing?
What is it? 635 RAS. I'm not sure what the individual stuff was, but
Nice.
Former wide receiver.
There we go.
There we go.
Got to put the period in there. Oh, it's the 4.58. Okay. But see, like that, like if you're a zone corner, like if you're in Fangio's, I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
That's what. Yeah, you're probably not gonna have him play in press, but like, yeah, zone off man, I think you can even get away with.
Yeah.
And again, like I think that because he's the transition from receiver, like it understands that position so well as well, like understanding the leverage and what receivers are trying to do. Like, I don't know. I would 100% take him at this point.
Good cone, bad 40, good shuttle. Tampa length is pretty good. 32 and an eighth.
Yeah.
Gosh, it's almost as much as Jordan Morgan. so yeah, I think it's fine for out there.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, right.
While propping up one guy there, here.
Yeah, there you go. No, it's okay. Everybody, I didn't love it, but I started the bit of like just going like all in, saying this is not a good pick, just because when everybody does that, he's good. So like I'm gonna try and push that bit. So yeah, I think this is true too. Like that defense, the way they play it, I feel like you have to be disciplined, coachable, and especially when you make the transition from receiver to corner. So
yeah,
I can't imagine it will be too long there. Well, I think it's a pretty good synopsis of everything that went down.
Yeah,
the first 2 days. Did the Lions just take their guys? I forgot. Oh yeah, they just
took
took
2 picks.
Yep. That's sick. Oh, how's the All In doing? Hold on. Let me see how All In is going. All In's not going too bad actually. That's that's not too bad.
They took my guy.
Yeah, they took Nealand and they took BB, who a lot of people were really the chat tonight was very, very hyped for the possibility of Cooper Beebe in the third round, and pretty quick there. So Lufa was interesting. I figured, well, they probably have, because Leighton Vander Esch was a comp apparently going around for Peyton Wilson, right? So like maybe Dallas was just
yeah. Sorry,
maybe
okay,
Dallas was just kind of like, oh no, again, like we can't go that route again at linebacker, so they went Lufau instead. It's not bad. Leonard Taylor played nose for some reason for a season. No idea why they were doing that, but yeah, good
club
pass
move,
rusher.
Snick. Yeah, club rip. I think he's got some moves. He's got a decent bag.
Yeah,
for an interior pass rusher.
Yeah, pad level maybe a little high, but the other thing is, like, when he was playing one tech, obviously you're getting up to try and sit down and play with good enough leverage against double teams, but maybe he just got into some bad habits at nose, because I think at 3 tech he can cook. Truthfully, we got Vitamin Peanut Butter commenting. Man, late night. I don't. What's going on, Vitamin Peanut Butter? Must be a Cowboys fan though. He's taking O-line all in. So
I'm a big fan, Peanut Butter.
Big fan. Yeah.
You go great. When you go great with grape jelly.
Yeah. And chocolate in a little like cup looking device. So that's good too. Big fan there. But yeah, I mean, Guyton and Beebe could be. This is what I floated as a kind of a last thought. Like when they took Beebe, I was like, okay, is the plan for Guyton to just redshirt perhaps, develop, Smith plays left tackle, Beebe plays left guard? Because I don't think Beebe can play center. I don't think they're going to ask him to play center because he hasn't done it.
Mm-hmm.
So
I don't know.
It's a strange situation that they've put themselves in with these two, kind of.
Yeah. I didn't watch as much BB because for that reason, I didn't think he was the guy that could convert to center. Like I was only watching guards that maybe I thought could convert to center for Steelers purposes. If they were looking at those guys, Cooper Beebe, they didn't really show a ton of interest in. But yeah, I was like, I think he could be a long time pro at the next level, specifically at guard. I don't see him moving because I know he started out at tackle at Kansas State, but
yeah,
he's in my opinion a left guard. Nowhere else.
Yeah, which makes the situation very interesting down there in Arlington with left guard Tyler Smith. So Jerry Jones is the star. This is true. Always. Always. Boy. Made an hour 42 fly by, I will say.
I've been on camera a lot. We've been both on camera a lot.
Yeah, we have.
Tonight and yesterday.
Yeah, it is.
And probably tomorrow.
Yeah, you gonna do it?
Not during the draft, no. But I'm gonna do a recap video.
Do a recap.
So
okay, yeah, that's fair.
Once they wrap up.
Yeah.
What are your plans?
Usually I hop on with the Packernet guys for day 3.
Okay.
That's a slog though. I might just pop in when the Packers pick instead, so I can get working on finishing Jordan Morgan's thing and then getting to Cooper and to Bullard, which that'll be fun. I specifically sent the Packers a memo. Don't pick SEC players, please, for film rooms. And I don't know if it got lost. They took a third one in the
spam.
They took a third one in the third round. I'm just, what a year to take SEC. But you know what? If it's at least people are seeing it. I guess that's what I have to tell myself. But yeah, Smitty, plug stuff real quick here at the end. For those who might not know, but they should. If they've been on this channel long enough.
Absolutely. Yeah, you can find me on my personal stuff, Zachary Smith PGH, wherever, YouTube here, X, Instagram, all those places. And then I host a couple podcasts. One of those, Around the 412, that is also YouTube, X, Instagram, all those places. I also host a podcast called Steelers Afternoon Drive with my man Alan Saunders on SteelersNow.com. Again, YouTube. You can find the audio version of that, Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcasts from. Very excited about some stuff that we got coming up. Actually, if you're interested in a conversation that I had 48 hours before the draft with Dan Orlovsky of ESPN about Steelers related stuff and just the NFL draft in general, which a lot of that came to fruition. I asked him for one bold take regarding the draft. He said 6 quarterbacks should go before 20. 6 quarterbacks went by 12. So it was a fun conversation. So go check that out. But yeah, I think that's all I got.
Yeah, glad we got to collab for at least something.
Yeah.
During the draft, I guess, because obviously we have our pre-draft mock that we get to do, but
maybe some post-draft stuff.
I'm just saying there might be some in the works. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'll say for now. But we might have a little something in the works that I've talked to a few people about, Smitty included. So we'll see if that comes to fruition. I hope it does, honestly, because I think it'd be a lot of fun. But if not, we might do something anyway. Smitty, maybe you'll join me for the way too early 2025 mock.
I don't know if I want to put my name on anything no, I'm just joking.
That's fair.
I'm always here.
So yeah, that would be fun. But yeah, I think there's gonna be a lot, obviously, coverage across the board, even if you're not, necessarily Packers Steelers fan, even like, just coverage on prospects, you're gonna get a lot. I think from both of us. And so and it's always worth the view, listen. So yeah, thank you guys. I might, I'll link that Dan Orlovsky thing in the description if people come across this, so they can go check that out, because that was cool. That was, I mean, come on, during draft week, that was sick.
Yeah, 48 hours before the draft.
Yeah, that was sick. But yeah, thank you guys. I mean, we do joke around. There's no doubt. I mean, we shared something.
It's got to be a blend, man. You got to have fun.
You have to blend
at the same time.
But yeah, glad you guys enjoyed this. I'm glad we did it. It's late. I can't believe I'm actually might go to bed at like a decent time. Maybe it's just because it's a level of exhaustion from little sleep. But thank you guys so much. Thank you, Smitty, especially for hopping on. Appreciate that a lot. Glad we got to do this. Everybody take care. Get some rest. It's a marathon tomorrow. But it's a little sad because draft season comes to a close very soon. So that kind of stinks, but it's always fun. I think, like I said, we'll be around with some post-draft stuff, I bet. So take care, everyone. Enjoy the rest of draft weekend. Here we go. #GoPackGo. That's all I got. I don't